They say some people can talk to anyone, anytime, but what if that's not a gift, but a skill anyone can learn? A leaked psychology trick might explain why you go speechless and how to stop it for good. Don't miss this. Hit subscribe before you forget what you were about to say. The hidden enemy in every conversation. Have you ever been deep in a conversation and suddenly nothing? Your mind goes blank and you scramble for something, anything to say. It feels like the silence is screaming. But here's the twist. It's not because you don't have anything to say. It's because your brain is hiding the good stuff from you. Sounds strange, right? But the truth is your brain is constantly throwing out ideas, observations, questions, even jokes. But you don't say them. Why? Because of an internal filter, an invisible mental editor constantly deciding, nope, too weird, or they won't care. This filter is so fast you don't even notice it. Before a thought can leave your mouth, it's already been judged and discarded. What's left? Silence. The paradox is the quieter you become in conversation, the more your filter tightens. It's like your brain starts assuming you should be silent, so it gives you less to work with. That's why the first step to never running out of things to say isn't about learning new tricks. It's about understanding this invisible filter and how to switch it off before it cuts you off. The 3-second rule that changes everything. Let's go back to a conversation where you felt stuck. You were thinking, I should say something, but the seconds ticked by and nothing came out. That's the exact window where the filter wins. But what if there was a way to beat it? Here's the solution, the 3-second rule. Whatever comes to your mind, say it within 3 seconds. If you wait longer, your brain starts analyzing, doubting, and filtering. Let's say someone mentions they love hiking. Instantly, your brain shoots out, I haven't hiked in forever. What's your favorite trail? I once got lost in the woods. All are fine responses, but within moments, you start picking them apart. Too boring, too weird, not impressive enough. So you say nothing. But what if you just picked one, anyone, and said it immediately? That quick response bypasses the filter. And guess what? Most of the time, it leads to a better conversation. Your comment doesn't have to be profound. It just has to be real. The 3-second rule is about being present, not perfect. Conversations aren't interviews. You don't need to impress, just connect. Try it next time. Count to 3, and then speak. Your secret superpower, curiosity. You know those people who can talk to anyone? They're not born that way. They've just mastered one thing, curiosity. And not fake scripted curiosity, but real, I want to know more curiosity. When you're genuinely interested in someone, you don't have to perform. You don't need perfect words. You just follow your interests. Let's say someone mentions their job. You could ask, what do you do? And move on. Or you could lean in and ask, what's the weirdest part of your job? Or how'd you get into that line of work? Now you're not just exchanging info, you're exploring their world. Curiosity removes pressure because it shifts the focus. You stop worrying about sounding clever and start wondering about them. It's a relief and a superpower. People open up when they feel seen, and curiosity makes them feel exactly that. The moment you stop focusing on yourself and start diving into their experience, the conversation becomes effortless. They feel interesting, you feel connected, and the silence, it disappears. The power of the follow-up question. Here's where most conversations go wrong. Someone says something, and we move on too quickly. It's like walking into a room, glancing around, and leaving before noticing the details. Follow-up questions are how you stay in the room. Imagine someone says, I just got back from Italy. A typical response is, oh cool, I love pasta. And then the topic changes, but a great conversationalist stays with it. You ask, what city was your favorite? They say, Florence. You go deeper. What stood out the most? Was it the art, the food, or something else? Now the conversation isn't just passing time, it's building a moment. Follow-ups show you're really listening. They also relieve you from having to constantly come up with new topics. You're simply following the path already there. And here's the best part. The person you're talking to feels amazing. Not because you're dazzling them, but because you're making them feel fascinating. Conversation threading. Never hit a dead end again. Picture this. Someone says, I went hiking in Colorado with my brother, but the weather wasn't great. That's one sentence, but within it are 5 possible paths. hiking Colorado, their brother, bad weather, or family trips in general. That's conversation threading. It's the art of noticing all the possible directions you can go based on what someone just said. Most of us miss this. We hear the statement, pick the obvious topic. And if that runs out, we panic. But if you listen closely, every sentence contains multiple threads, many doors you can open if one closes. Let's take another example. Someone says, my client keeps changing the website project requirements. You could talk about the client, the project, the industry, or how they handle stress. Threading gives you freedom. If one topic starts to fade, you have options, always. It's not about being clever, it's about noticing what's already there. Once you train your ear to spot threads, even the quietest conversations become full of possibility. Finding the right balance, depth versus lightness. A conversation that's too deep too fast, it feels heavy. One that stays on the surface, forgettable. The best talks strike a rhythm between both. Think of it like a great movie. It makes you feel, but also lets you breathe. Start with light topics, food, music, weekend plans. Then gradually bring in depth. Maybe someone mentions stress at work. You could ask, what's been the most challenging part lately? But if it gets too intense, pivot to something playful. Have you seen that video of the guy trying to meditate while chaos breaks out around him? This back and forth keeps the conversation dynamic. It gives it heart without making it hard. It's not manipulation, it's mindfulness. You're feeling the energy and adjusting as needed. The people we love talking to the most, they do this without realizing. They make us think, then laugh, then reflect. That balance is what turns conversations into connection. What to do when your mind goes blank? Even with all these tools, it's going to happen. That moment when your brain hits pause and you freeze. So what do you do then? You recover. First, use the environment scan. Look around and comment on something real. I love the vibe of this place, or that playlist is perfect for a rainy day. Simple, natural, it restarts the flow. Next, try the curious reversion. Go back to something they mentioned earlier. You said you grew up in a small town. What was that like? You're not grasping, you're guiding the conversation gently back to safer ground. The key is to stay calm. Everyone blanks, even speakers, hosts, performers. The difference? They've practiced recovery, so it feels smooth. Think of it like skipping a beat in music. It's okay as long as you pick up the rhythm again. The Conversation Emergency Kit. Here's a secret. The best conversationalists come prepared, not with speeches, but with questions. This is your emergency kit, topics and prompts you can pull out when things get quiet. Good questions are universal, but not boring. Think, what's been keeping you busy lately? Seen any shows lately that actually surprised you? If you could teleport anywhere for a day, where would you go? These work across different situations, friends, coworkers, even strangers. And the key? Refresh them now and then. Keep them flexible. Don't treat them like a script, just a gentle nudge to get things moving. When you know you have your emergency kit, the pressure drops. You stop fearing the silence because you're ready for it. Build real connection through self-disclosure. The fastest way to deepen a conversation? Share something real. Not a life story, not oversharing, just a glimpse into your world. Example, I'm from New York. I love it, but the pace wore me out. Actually, slowing down was harder than I expected. You're not dumping emotions, you're showing dimension. When you open up just a little, others feel safe to do the same. That's how conversations move from polite to powerful. It's not about being vulnerable for the sake of it. It's about building trust, one small truth at a time. The perfect exit, how to end without awkwardness. We've all been there, ready to leave a conversation but not sure how. So we trail off, give a weak, well, I should, or just ghost the moment. But here's the fix. End with confidence and care. Use the 3-part exit. Positive affirmation. This has been awesome. Genuine reason. I've got to head out to meet a friend. Future bridge. Send me that link when you get a chance. This simple structure leaves the other person feeling valued, not abandoned. It also creates a soft landing, a moment that ends the talk but keeps the connection. And knowing how to exit well, it gives you the freedom to start more conversations because you're no longer trapped in them forever. Let's bring it all together. You've learned that going blank isn't a flaw, it's a filter, and that breaking through is easier than you think. You've got the 3-second rule to bypass doubt, curiosity to fuel connection, follow-ups to deepen discussion, threading to keep momentum, and recovery techniques to bounce back with ease. You're equipped with a mental emergency kit, a self-disclosure framework, and the art of the graceful exit. But more than anything, you've realized this. Meaningful conversation isn't about being impressive. It's about being present. Try one of these tools in your next conversation, then come back and tell me how it went in the comments. And if this helped even a little, hit that subscribe button because we're just getting started.